do it. We're going to go right into the vetoes. Thank you, Thomas. All right. Oh, boy. Here we go. This is the coin flip. Tense moment. You see that? Harstem wins the flip. That means he has to start the veto process. There's no vetoes, though, because it's a best of 7. So it's AB, AB, AB. Players will take turns picking a map. Harstem gets to pick first. Catalyst is map number 1. uThermal takes his time, as he should. Abyssal Reef is what uThermal said. Catalyst Abyssal Reef. Harstem picks Odyssey for the 3rd map. Map number 4 is Black Pink. Catalyst, Abyssal, Odyssey, Black Pink, and now Neon Violet Square. And the final pick is Battle on the Boardwalk, and that leaves Ascension to Ire as map 7. Ascension map 7. All right, guys, shake hands for the tournament. There we go. All right. Guys, quick question. Can you do the handshake one more time for the photo? We're gonna need... All right, these guys are ready for it. Guys, I'm gonna take the trophy away for now. You have to earn it first. Have fun in the finals. I'm gonna give it over to the casters. Have fun casting this awesome finals, guys. Let's hope it's as good as the one as last year.
Alrighty, so it is time for the grand finals of the Dutch StarCraft League Open 2017. My name is Loka, and with me is Talandros.
I am
it's time for an epic best of 7.
Excited. This
is
every year. This is a rematch, but every year it's super excited.
I can't wait for Battle on the Boardwalks.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be. I think
map 7.
I think they're both just gonna do the most random stuff on there. Okay, we've come to game 7. Now we're just gonna do something completely unorthodox, shock everyone. No one knows what's gonna happen. And the winner just takes home 400 euros.
Yeah, so last year we did actually see it go to game number 7. Harstem ended up winning that one.
Yep.
Very close series, a very great finals. Obviously, Protoss versus Terran, as well as both of the players have changed a lot since.
Yep.
It's going to be a very tough finals to predict, in particular with the current state of Protoss versus Terran. I wonder how this one is going to be, but I definitely do agree. This should be an awesome series. I am really looking forward to that, because I actually can't call it.
Me neither, honestly.
I really don't know.
I was talking to Mark uThermal earlier, and he's like, well, you know, actually, we had him over as for interview as well, but then later as well. He's like, okay, so yeah, for sure, I'm in a really dominant position right now in terms of like, look at my ladder stats, look at how on fire I am recently, but PvT. And then obviously Harstem's been playing a lot too. He's been showing a lot of dedication. He's been streaming more often as well. Harstem's in a pretty good spot as well right now. So, I mean, it really depends. Mind games could come into play as well. These players play each other so many times, both offline, online, and especially in just the DSCL alone. They already play a lot. So, it's going to be amazing.
I love the little bit of banter right here in the chat. So both of the players are already in the lobby. Harstem is saying, we should play fun games, eh? And uThermal saying, you know what, I'm just going to beat you. I'm going to grab you. There we go. Frank, are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Frank is always excited.
What are your predictions, Frank?
You know what I'm going to do? My prediction is that I'm going to have fun watching the finals.
Safe answer. Safe answer. I like it.
Awesome. You better cheer really loud.
Alrighty. So we are going to get this game underway, this series underway very shortly, as soon as the players are ready, of course. Harstem just got out of his matches, and he may need just a second to recuperate.
For sure.
You know,
and to
breathe.
And to do a little bit of banter. Classic Dutch bands.
Gaan met die banaan.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go with the banana is not what that means, but it doesn't really make that much sense.
It doesn't make that much sense in Dutch either, if you think about it.
It doesn't. I don't really know what's going on. But anyways, I'm hearing those beeps that you like so very much. It is time for the grand finals of the DSCL Open. Obviously, the winner will take home 400 euro. Second place is still 200 euro. Not a bad payday.
Not shabby, not too shabby. All right, guys. So, as we head into the first map, we're going to go and head into a straight pause. Uh-oh.
I have no clue if you guys could actually hear the people in the audience as well, but everyone is getting hyped up. There have been some weird technical issues where apparently sometimes restarting the game
Yeah, it's
and
kind of
actually
weird.
jumping back into the lobby fixes an FPS issue that some of the computers are having. I am not entirely certain why. Either way, though, as soon as we get this lobby once again ready to go and we get the confirmation that the players are ready too, I think Harstem is saying, okay, 1-0. What was the second map?
wait, yeah.
That was the quickest 1-0 I've ever
Watch
seen.
the admin actually make a second map as well.
All right. No, we are once again going to be on Catalyst. Interesting series, though. So obviously we're at best of 7, right? That means that there are no maps that are getting vetoed here. This will be a, just a straight-up map series that we also see on the map pool. I wonder if that means that, Battle on the Boardwalk is both of these players' least favorite map. I can imagine it's going to be one of those maps where you don't really know exactly what you want to do.
Exactly. No, yeah, exactly. It's like you'd rather not play it, so let's just pray it doesn't go to Game 7. But if it does, everything's in here. Yeah, no, for the viewers, for us, it's amazing. But yeah,
it's a little bit of a funny map. We'll explain what's going on there if we end up getting to that point as well. Anyway, lobby is currently being remade. We will be jumping into the game very, very shortly.
Oh man, I was so excited. Now I'm even more excited.
You're more excited?
Maybe we should just restart a couple more games. Then we
The longer it takes, the bigger your hype becomes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Exactly. It's actually already getting pretty late as well. I wasn't even paying attention to the clock.
I know, yeah.
It's already getting 8 p.m. Or it's already 8 p.m. right here in the Netherlands. I know a lot of people from the United States are currently waking up. Good morning. Hope you guys are having a good day. You're ready for some good StarCraft to start off the day. If you're maybe somewhere on the eastern part of the planet, dedication, I like it. Or maybe you're just up stupidly early. I'd be very surprised at that.
Some morning people out there.
I mean,
really early.
Like I was going to say, that's like 3 a.m. or something along those lines. Like, it's like really early. Maybe even a little bit later than that, actually. Time zones are fun.
It depends where you are, I guess, right?
Anyway, we are going to be jumping into game number 1 here very shortly. We're currently on the loading screen. And here we go.
All right, all right. Okay, so, as I was saying earlier, on Catalyst, map number 1 of this grand final. Make some noise, guys, because this is Harstem for Asterion Esports.
He's ready. He's looking focused.
Oh, yeah.
And his opponent in the cross position of game number 1. Playing with the red Terran SCVs and playing for Team Liquid. Give it up for uThermal.
We have cheers for both players in this series. That's amazing.
Yeah, both players actually brought their girlfriends as well.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder where they are sitting. They're fighting
probably
in the back.
Probably not next to each other, no?
They're like fighting in the back of the venue.
Okay, so this is an interesting start of the series. Something we haven't seen. Many people actually. To be fair, this tournament's been fairly laid back in terms of cheese, aside from FNTC. But these barracks are not in a very conventional position.
Yeah. No, they are going to be built on the other side of the map, and that means that uThermal is planning on closing this game out early, if he can, obviously. Harstem did end up sending out that probe rather early as well. He's going to be able to figure out that something is off right now. Doesn't see the barracks right here at the front. He's going to try and see if he can see a gas. There we go. And this gas geyser will indeed confirm that some cheese is happening at this point in the game. And he immediately goes ahead, throws up that second pylon inside of his main as well. No gateway on the low ground here in game number 1. I like that play. Not taking any kind of risks whatsoever. And I think that means that Harstem is aware of what's going on roughly. But does he also realize that it's going to be a third barracks here? And this could even be like, we've seen like 6 barracks in Reaper so far in this tournament. This could even be taken to the extreme.
And I mean, look at how close it is to that one hop ramp, like pretty much a Reaper ramp, I guess it is, right?
That's literally what it is, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you could place a siege tank down there, I guess, but no, not even a siege tank, maybe.
I don't think so.
Just a couple Marines. But anyway, so yeah, literally it's next to the ramp. And a bunker, and if it doesn't get seen, oh no, he's gonna reveal it with the Reaper.
Why is he microing in that direction? That seems a little bit odd, right? I guess he wants this Zealot to get distracted as well, so the Reaper can start shelling away with its double pistols for a little while longer. The Jetpack Raiders are once again back in town. He's gonna continuously produce more of those. If he can finish up that bunker somehow, some way though, that would be a massive deal. Second Reaper now coming in as well from the back. Target firing down that Reaper or that Zealot.
A Stalker even.
Yeah,
I mean, there's everything in the game.
There's
There's
a
no
Stalker coming out right
yeah.
now. I was going to say that around the same time, but I can only say a couple of words at once.
Oh, actually bopped the Adept there. Pretty nice. He might actually get it. That would be a pretty big deal. I really like this multi-prong harassment from different angles with the Reapers, really pulling his opponent apart a little bit. That said, though, that bunker's not going to go up, and he does not like that. He would really want that bunker to go up, because that would, like, put him in a really, really good position. Right now, though, Reapers is still being produced, and he just killed the Adept. Probably going to kill the Stalker fairly soon because there's not much else.
Yeah, this is definitely a build that can deal a lot of damage. It's rather unorthodox these days, but I love that uThermal is starting off this best of 7 series with a little bit of cheese. Of course, they heal out of combat as well, which is the most terrifying part. Usually they're not that great against Stalkers, but in bigger numbers, this can definitely deal a lot of damage. There is a shield battery set up. It is not protecting the mineral line right now. uThermal knows exactly where he can escape and where he's allowed to maneuver around, and so far he is denying a ton of that mining time and already picks up 7 or 6 probe kills right now.
Yeah, and he's killing Stalkers one by one. Basically, pretty much just killing one before the next one comes out, which is amazing. Actually kills every one of them right now, and that's just it.
That's game right there. uThermal picks up a very quick victory here in game 1.
Wow.
I mean, that lasted 3 minutes.
He's not laying down at all. Yeah, no, a really interesting thing about that, pretty much there no longer being a pylon overcharge, is that stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Right? The shield battery is really useful, for sure, but not necessarily in those situations, because you can maneuver around them very easily, and they only help units that are already there. If there's no units, you can't heal them.
Obviously, we did see the scout go down, I believe, after the gateway.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was after a gateway or after pylon, but I'm pretty sure it was after the gateway.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the barracks position was so close to that ramp. Like, it was literally, he could have it might as well have been in this base. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it was so super close. And
the Nexus right there was just a little bit too aggressive, I guess, from the Protoss player, and it allowed the Terran here to win game 1 very convincingly. I wonder if that changes any of the plans that that Harstem had for this series. Obviously, uThermal's not going to do it a second time, right?
Right?
Right? Like, that's the scary part. That's
Let's
where you're at right now if you're the Protoss.
Say it more loudly.
No, but seriously, like, it's so difficult to know what is going to be coming up next, right? Like, he could obviously pull this off a second time in this series easily. He could do it 4 times in a row.
He has done that before.
4 times in a row. Yeah, exactly.
He's done it 3 times in a row before, and he won that tournament.
It's a little bit crazy, and that's what obviously makes the Protoss versus Terran matchup pretty tough to predict as well from the Protoss.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult because, I mean, but the thing with cheese, right, it's something like, it's a one-trick pony, you would say, right? It's something that's easily counterable if you know it's coming. But you could mind game your opponent in thinking, oh yeah, I'm only going to do it once, and then you do it another time, or just another time in the series. Maybe he plays one macro game right now and goes straight back into Reapers. Obviously, from uThermal's position, he's also one of the Terrans that has been struggling with TVP, longer games, that is, right? So he likes these quick games that he can be really decisive and to show how good of a micro player he is, right?
Oh, yeah.
He really, really likes those games, but he's like, okay, maybe doing it 4 times in a row, that could be a little bit predictable, right? Then again,
there's always the option for it.
Yeah, he could definitely do it multiple times, is what I'm trying to say.
It's definitely one of those tricky scenarios that you have to keep in mind if you are a Protoss player. Now, game 2 is going to be on Abyssal Reef. Still a map where you can pull off something similar. Of course, there's a massive ramp leading into the main as well, accessible from the Protoss' third. But we'll see if that's going to be something that he decides to go for, as we are currently now loading up into the map.
Oh, yes, and it's Abyssal Reef. This is an old one. Well, relatively old. In StarCraft terms, it's old anyway.
It's like grandpa old right now in StarCraft terms.
It's about to die.
This is like ancient in StarCraft. It's been like a year. Oh my god. It's not quite Metalopolis old.
No,
but you know.
It's still in the map pool, so it's not dead yet, but it's like...
Oh, I think the Observer's ready. He wants to do the introduction. You want to take us away?
All right, let's do it. Okay, the Red Terran. Playing for Team Liquid. In the top left corner of Abyssal Reef, it is Team Liquid's uThermal.
And his opponent spawning in a cross position. Currently 1-0 behind. Give it up for Harstem. Oh man, he doesn't, he doesn't look as angry as he did previously in this tournament though.
No, he's kind of chill.
According to Wayman, he likes to hum around or hum along to his music and maybe sing it in his head and all that. Maybe he's listening to sad music right now. He's listening to Mad World.
or he's listening to like death metal and it just doesn't do anything for him anymore.
He's completely unfazed. Now the first probe though will indeed confirm that it is going to be a regular barracks here at the top of the ramp. So no cheeky shenanigans here from Mr. Terminal, as his nickname goes apparently.
Yeah, that's I think it's just his StarCraft name too. I think he uses
Yeah.
it on Steam a bit, but I don't think it's ever been like an official name for him or anything.
Yeah, apparently the reason why he picked the nickname Liquid Thermi is because of the character limit.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just simply couldn't fit Liquid uThermal.
But it's kind of stuck though, right? Yeah, it's kind of stuck.
Yeah, now you're called uThermal, or you're gonna be called Thermi, I guess. I guess that works.
Which isn't, I mean, it's not a really bad nickname. I kind of like
Totally
it.
fine.
Anyway, that probe's going to be annoying with the barracks, but now also with the command center. Super annoying. SCV is coming to the rescue, though, and the probe knows it. He's out of there. So, yeah, I mean, fairly standard game number 2. This is what we thought we were going to see in game number 1, I think, and we ended up not. So I think Abyssal Reef is a little bit more of an orthodox map. Both players have played thousands of games on this map. So
That's not even exaggerated, by the way. For
No.
those of you that don't play StarCraft as much, they literally played thousands of games on this map, for certain. It's been around for a while.
yeah, for sure. It's been around, I think that was just season 1, 2017.
I
or
think it
two- or
was
season
already.
2.
I think it was like late 2016 even.
Okay, that's a long time.
I don't know exactly if that. It feels like it's been at least a year.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, yeah, that
I
makes
also keep
sense.
thinking it's already 2018, but it's not quite.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Probe eventually, by the way, does get dealt with.
in terms of StarCraft, it's already 2018 anyway. Right?
Exactly. We forget November and December. Everything past BlizzCon just doesn't exist anymore.
No, it exists, but like the extra 2 months are just 2018.
Exactly. Now we do see the Twilight Council coming in
Yeah.
at Harstem. So yes, this side is a stack of choice. The first adept now also picking up a single worker already. Might try to get himself a second one. Not gonna happen though, as the Shade will indeed force that unit away once again. Interestingly enough, we see a very quick Blink Stalker upgrade. What do you think of that?
He's going to chrono the crap out of it. That's what I think. I think that's very standard. We've seen a lot of players do it. Gerald did it against him as well. I think this is just a normal build for Protoss players. You don't necessarily have to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. You have to justify getting it, pretty much, right?
Right.
You can get it third behind this. Blink is just very safe because it helps against drops. At the same time, you can put on a little bit of pressure, right? With 4 Stalkers or more even. And yeah, I mean, right now he's just opting to go for that Stalker play, which is fairly standard. So far.
Yeah. And the nice thing about it as well, that in the past you would struggle a lot with a Blink Stalker opener against Widowmine drops. Right now you can just simply detonate one of your probes, which is a little bit sad for that one probe, but at the very least the Widowmine will be revealed for a while.
Yep.
Interestingly enough though, we see some very safe play here. Double shield battery already going down here for the Protoss player. He's got a handful of gateways, he could transition towards the third right now. And this is exactly what the Protoss players have been doing a lot in the TVP matchup. So why this is so tricky for a Terran player to deal with is because as it is right now for a Terran, there are a handful of builds you have to try to prepare against. And if you're trying to prepare against everything, you just simply fall behind economically speaking. So Harstem is really only on 3 gateways right now, already getting a Nexus. He doesn't even have a Blink done just yet. It's in 10 seconds. Now there we do see those Widow Mines coming in. It is actually unburrowed before it can do any kind of critical damage, but look at that shield battery just simply keeping units alive. And apparently even the Medivac and the Widow Mine came in.
Oh, but the Hellion follow-up though. Oh, lining him up. 8 probes going down there, and there's still 3 Hellions alive. Gonna fry up to 10 right now. Probably gonna go up to 11 or 12 maybe even. It really depends on how well he can keep these alive for now. Stalkers are entering the main base now, so I think this is the last of that harassment. But still, he did this against Gerald as well, and he killed 19 probes with that. Not quite as bad as that game for the Protoss player, obviously, but 11 probes definitely make this worth it, I think.
That is definitely a very big deal. I mean, it's one of those moments, right, where Protoss is feeling pretty confident, right? You get that beautiful split off, you don't really lose all too much. The only issue right now is that uThermal only has 11 army supply. He's being doubled by his opponent, plus these are Blink Stalkers. I don't know if there's any vision to get him into the main base here of the Terran player. I don't think so, but they can still micro back and forth, and the first siege tank is not quite out.
It is not. He's producing Marines, doesn't have stim pack, doesn't have +1. There's one bunker up, which definitely helps. Already put some SCV stationed right there.
Oh, he tried to go into the main base right there with the Shade so he could potentially get in there. Now the SCVs will be target fired down one by one. Siege tank immediately gets picked up with that aggressive blink forward.
And now he has to pull a lot of boys here to save this. Pulling them back now because it seems like it wasn't as necessary now. And again, the Shade is trying to get in. If it does get in, that would be really devastating because that allows the Stalkers entrance into the main. Now with this bunker up, there's no real entry for the Stalkers anywhere around this natural.
So that means that Harstem will be forced to transition out of this. Chrono Boost is pretty good though. Already the worker count has been evened up once again. Additional Stalkers are indeed coming in right now too. A Zealot, or rather a Siege Tank is now done, however, for the Terran. And I think that that will shut down this aggression here for now. Obviously, Harstem can try and blink back and forth, wait until the shield regenerate and all that. But eventually, he's going to have to start mining from that third Nexus that he took quite a while ago. And right now, he is indeed going to do that transition. So we see the robotics facility already done. He's getting himself charged. So he is going to be capable of transitioning towards a lot of bigger units. Maybe following it up with a lot of Zealots as well if he wants to. But now the War Prism is coming in. Interesting.
Yeah,
I think he wants to do some aggression.
It's definitely going to allow a lot more stuff for him to do in terms of harassment, right? Because that one bunker and the bunch of siege tank behind it really does limit that. With the War Prism, you can give vision to Stalkers. At the same time, you can also drop Immortals or charge lots or some Adepts in the main. Yeah. Really, really annoying for the Terran player to deal with. He just wants to have that potential, and also it's really, really good to push with. Now, this handful of Stalkers in the front of uThermal's base have been really annoying. They've secretly picked up a lot of Marines that, I mean, like, he would pick one up and then blink them all back, right? Raise some shields. He's been doing that this entire early game now. And it's not really been changing the game super, super much, but it does add up, right? We see Charge Out now almost being done. We see +1/+1 being researched and probably chrono boosted. He wants to catch up on upgrades.
Oh, Stalkers right there actually managed to oh man, this is actually an important little moment. Blink just barely gets forced there. Obviously, if you are very, very uncareful, you just simply end up losing everything in just a matter of seconds. I don't actually know if there's a third command center. If we could see a really quick shot in the main base of the Terran. Is there a third command center as a follow-up?
Nope.
Okay, no, there's nothing here at all. So that means that this push is going to be crucial.
This is what uThermal was talking about when he wants to be decisive and go for the kill. This is exactly what he's talking about. He's pushing all those siege tanks, and he wants to get into a good position, contain his opponent from here, and actually do a death push. To be fair, though, his armor supply is not that far ahead, so he has to be kind of careful, and these siege tanks are now fairly far behind. He's stimming quite far ahead. Charge Out's running in. I'm not sure. Actually, a lot of those charge outs are going down to the siege tank fire.
Oh, beautiful pickup right there on that new siege tank as well. Just barely keeping that one alive. There's actually a really cheeky position behind the mineral line where you can drop off units as well, although it does look like uThermal is going for the throat. Putting up these siege tanks in very scary positions. There's a single Immortal available. That Immortal will indeed be joined with a buddy very shortly, but already the damage is coming in. That high ground value and that high ground vision is going to be massive, and so far, uThermal is indeed maintaining it. A couple of Zealots now coming in from the other end as well. They will be able to pick up at least one of those tanks. Immortals now also connecting with those siege tanks.
Oh, but this fight is really, really good for uThermal right now. He kept those two siege tanks alive, and they're doing massive amounts of damage. This last time, that's two Immortals. One is really low. He's about to go down. All the Stalkers have already died. They can't blink on top of the siege tanks anymore. Charge Outs are really Harstem's hope here, and currently he's bleeding a lot of them. The shield batteries are going down. Actually, the siege tanks are also targeting at the probes at this moment. Already 3 have gone down. And I mean, if we look at the supply, it's 20 up so far.
Okay,
and he's adding Liberators. Actually, look at this. A little bit of a drop here in the main base. Also killing some SCVs. Not too big of a deal so far. He's dealing with it. But yeah, Liberators, Marines, and siege tanks is all uThermal needs right now.
Harstem wants to keep that base alive. It is not being target fired just yet. There we go. uThermal does finish up that Nexus. That does mean, however, that now the Liberators are going to be able to deal and continued damage. And uThermal ends up obtaining the victory here in game number 2 as well, even though it seemed like he was in a really tough position after that early game shenanigans.
Yeah, man. That was that was a really, really solid mid game from uThermal. He really picked it up there. Those 11 probe kills, I thought that was really going to bite him in the end with the Stalker counterattack. I actually thought if the Stalkers were going to get into the main, that would be it.
Yeah, and
they
then
didn't though.
The lack of the third as well.
Yeah, and then, but I mean, his death push, it's just it always wins, man. He's so good with it.
I'm actually quite surprised that he decided to go for the natural, right? It seems like the third is more accessible for those kind of pushes.
Yeah.
We've seen Terran players do it a little bit closer to the outer edge of the map where you can still shell away at the mineral line, but I guess you were right. Like, he just wanted to...
Wants to go for the throat right away.
He just wants to kill it right there. Yeah, he needs to win right there. It's essentially an all-in, and while he could technically transition, he needs to deal critical damage, and apparently killing a Nexus in Harstem's book was at the very least enough damage right there to justify GGing out.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, he mentioned it himself. He's like, a lot of Terran players, like Optimus or other European Terrans, They would rather, they kind of back off after a while, or they don't really go for like
Right.
the in-your-face route. He's really confident in that, and that puts his opponent in a really bad spot if they allow him to, right? These siege tanks below the ramp that looked pretty dangerous, but once he set them up, and the Marines in front and at the back, protecting them from both sides, at the same time also not allowing the Protoss units to go through the choke, I think it was a really, really good call for him. But only because Harstem kind of allowed him to in the end, right? If Harstem was like, no, I'm actually going to not
Right.
let
He
you get
probably
there.
needed to meet him in the middle of the map, right?
Yeah.
That position right there was just the choke where you can't really pick up the siege tanks very easily.
Absolutely.
Very difficult. It's one of those moments, though. Siege tanks essentially kill everything on the ground if they're allowed to like shoot like 4 times. They kill everything really, really quickly.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, a little bit of a screen issue, but
Your monitor is apparently going to power down as well. This is not exactly what I had in mind.
so
If someone from production could maybe help out in just a second, because apparently my monitor has now got a Hearthstone wallpaper. Not quite what I was looking for. Anyway, we'll probably get that one fixed in just a little bit as we will be loading up into the next game.
I
very
don't
shortly.
hear the beeps yet, so
Yeah, we now have only audible feedback. I clicked a button. I made a mistake. Thank you very much, Frank. Frank is not only the one that started this entire thing, he's now also indeed technical support. Absolutely incredible.
carrying this organization on his shoulders.
Currently 2-0 though for uThermal, interestingly enough, with very different play styles in both of these games. The Hellions, of course, did end up dealing a lot of damage as well on Abyssal Reef. It's one of those things that is not particularly common, so hopefully Harstem will be able to respond to that next time around if he decides to go for a similar push once again. I click one of those buttons, I don't know.
Maybe click it again.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to
I
click
mean,
it again.
on these gaming monitors, there's usually a bunch of settings, so try to keep going through your settings until you get to the same one, I guess.
I changed the picture mode though.
Oh, no.
Anyway, it's
Oh,
okay.
well.
We are good to go to start the matchup either way.
Yep.
We will still be able to observe from the other computer just fine, so it should be okay.
As long as this one doesn't shut off. It said it was going to shut off in 5 minutes,
I
right?
see things. Perfect. I clicked buttons.
Hey.
It fixed it. Wonderful.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. So as soon as this lobby is ready and the players are ready, we will be jumping into the next series right here.
Man, this is a 2-0 for uThermal already. Not something I think a lot of people expected. And it was they've both been quite convincing. Obviously, the first game a little bit unconventional. Second game more of a standard type of game, not super long or macro-y, but still more of a normal game. uThermal pretty convincing. So if he can keep this up for game number 3, I mean, Harstem's really got to think to himself. I think he needs to, I guess, pull his stuff together. And I mean, this is half the series if it goes on like this, right?
Obviously, it's a best of 7, so he does need to win 4. It's a pretty scary amount of games to win if you are forced to do so against an opponent of the caliber of Harstem. But I mean, Harstem so far definitely getting outplayed just simply, right? I mean, he hasn't been able to show his solid macro game just yet, but I think that's primarily because uThermal doesn't allow him to. That's kind of the thing. If you know that you're probably going to be a little bit in a tough spot if you're forced to play a laid-back macro game, you can try to kill your opponent early.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I really, really like that uThermal in most of his games, especially when he's confident, when he knows he should be confident, he actually is confident. And what that ends up doing is he actually takes control of the game really, really easily. Anyway, in the bottom right corner of Odyssey, game number 3 has just started, ladies and gentlemen. Playing for Asterion Esports, the blue Protoss player, Harstem.
And in the cross position, currently up 2-0. He's playing for Team Liquid, and he goes by the nickname of uThermal. Man, I love those camera spins.
Love it.
Observer on point.
Loving it right now.
He's looking away. He doesn't want us to Okay, I got the thumbs up now. Wonderful. Hope you guys are having a great time as well on the live stream. It's awesome to see so many people interested in this local tournament, although there are indeed a lot of foreign players. We have 2 Dutchies here in the finals. The tournament is being casted right now as well by 2 Dutchies.
Yeah, I mean, but we're casting in English.
We're casting in English, right? It's a little bit interesting.
We're casting 2 barracks being placed on the other side of the map in English as well. This is pretty much the same thing. Is that close to the ramp? Odyssey has a ramp like that. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as we saw in game number 1.
It's pretty much the exact same thing. This one, however, does fit a siege tank.
That's true.
Now, we once again do see Harstem scouting this. He knows precisely what is going on. This is a very aggressive version of this build, by the way. Pretty much the most aggressive one you can go with. Let's see what Harstem decides to do this time around. Now, if you're a Protoss player, you may be in some trouble over the next couple of days on the ladder, because I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Protoss or a lot of Terran players are currently looking at this and like, hey, what if I tried to do something like this myself as well?
Just bring back the Reaper. It's kind of like, I mean, kind of like when.
Oh man, he's just got to put down a third Arcs once again.
Yeah, and he's doing the exact same thing he did last time. And honestly, exactly what you're saying. The Reaper has gotten strong because it's gotten popular, right? That obviously someone figured it out, and uThermal's been one of the people that figured it out. It had been strong a long time before that, but uThermal actually started doing it, and people started copying it. What if that just happens again? What if people were like, oh, actually, Reaper openers aren't that bad anyway?
Yeah. Once again, by the way, we see a very similar setup. A bunker going down in the main base. Zealot is forced to go into a bit of a different direction. Stalker follow-up once again here for the Protoss player as well. 3 Reapers coming out at every moment in this game.
I do like this position a little bit better for Harstem. He's getting an earlier shield battery. He's definitely going to cancel that bunker a lot earlier. And also that Adept, I think, is actually Adept, Stalker, and Zealot now are helping fend off those Reapers. And I'm not sure if uThermal can actually get control of this base.
That's kind of what happened in the previous one, right? The first Zealot died really early. Harstem is still scouting out what is going on. He knows that this push is going to continue onwards by seeing the amount of gas that's currently coming in here for the red Terran player. uThermal, though, currently not showing his units anymore. There's also no Nexus on the low ground, which is a massive change.
Absolutely, yeah. No, you're completely right there. And I mean, we're going to really have to see what this ends up doing for him, because first game he was able to get so much momentum, pretty much winning him the game straight up. But right now, it's kind of a different story. 9 supply difference in this early of the game, actually more than that now, is quite a big deal. He's behind in workers quite significantly, and he's forced to not really commit to that, because he can't. There's nothing that can come from this right now. Immortal is almost out. How are you going to kill an Immortal with a couple of Reapers, Loco? That's not going to happen.
I mean, maybe if you keep on
if you make a lot of them.
If you keep on throwing grenades and it never lands, right? It just
shield
keeps
battery,
flying.
The shield battery is the big
That's
issue
true.
here.
That's true. No, definitely you're right. I think it's going to be a very tough call to make. Apparently he does decide to go up on his high ground. Stalker's taking a little bit of damage, but of course the Reapers will be forced to back off once again, with one of their brethren actually dying as well. The other ones are happily healing outside of combat with their jetpacks that never run out of fuel. I think he will be forced home, however, because what exactly are you going to do right now if you are the Terran player? He's going to follow it up with apparently another barracks, because if you have 3 barracks, you need another one.
Of course, yeah, why not?
I mean, the other ones are called out on the map, right? You probably want to get yourself a tech lab here eventually if you plan on transitioning towards, for example, biological units, like, for example, the Marine Marauder setup. But with the Warp Prism already coming in here for Harstem, I don't think Harstem is going to give him any time to, for example, fly home. I mean, just simply bringing the 2 Immortals across the map right now would be massive.
Yeah, it will be devastating actually, because there's just not much that uThermal has. All of his forces are on the other side of the map, and they're all fragile, really quick, but really fragile units, and he's making more of them. This is kind of like we saw Ziggy play way earlier in this tournament. Maybe this was his plan all along. If in the first game as well.
There we go. He's actually gonna.
Oh.
Okay, no, okay. I thought he was gonna go for the double Immortal. Instead, he's picking up 2 Stalkers.
You're halfway
He's
right.
flying them straight over all of these Reapers. Is he planning on countering them? No.
He wants to force them home, I guess. But
he's just showing his hand, right?
Yeah. That definitely can be an effective strategy. I mean, I'm not sure if he's doing exactly, if uThermal's doing exactly what Harstem wants him to do, because the Reapers are staying right where they are.
That's an expensive scan off of 1 base.
Yeah.
This will indeed confirm that a lot of these units are still out at home. I think does he know at this point that there's a second Immortal that's loaded up into the Warp Prism? Because he did see one in the main. His pylon will go down in just a matter of seconds, though, and while this is all going on, the drop in the main base of the Terran player goes in as well.
Oh yeah, it definitely happening right now, and these Immortals and Stalker are doing a lot of damage. At the same time, Reapers are fighting with the main army of the Protoss player. I'm not sure if I like that for uThermal. 5 SCVs already gone down, more go down now, and Harstem takes game number 3. Finally a win for the Protoss player.
Yeah, he didn't decide to go for the greedy third.
No.
Or for the greedy expansion, rather, not the third just yet. That would have been kind of
Well,
ridiculous, but yeah. Like, he just simply didn't have an
even.
expansion nearly as early this time.
Yeah.
And that just simply makes it much easier for him to defend against this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Opens up the possibility for the Immortals to go across the map and just simply deal a little bit of damage. And all of a sudden, he found himself with the victory. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see Reapers anymore in this series.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't think uThermal really needs to, right? Unless he manages to, like, obtain the next one and go into like a 3-1 favor.
Yeah.
It would be an option he could pull off, but
He has a
definitely
couple
not
of
at a match point.
so if uThermal wins the next game, that means he's at match point, right? So he's got a couple games to spare, so to speak. That would mean that he could again try some shenanigans, but also it would be kind of predictable at that point because he is up so far and he can spare those games.
Yeah, Harstem playing like very scout heavy right now as well. Not gonna be.
Yeah, no, Harstem does not want to lose another game to that Reaper stuff. Like. That is just stuff that he obviously you lose to it once, then you don't lose to it again. That's kind of how those types of builds work. And then you lose to it once again on the ladder, like 2 months down the line, and then you don't lose to it again for 2 months, and then you forget about it, and then the cycle repeats and repeats.
It's kind of what happens. It's the cycle of StarCraft.
Yeah,
I've
definitely true.
I've been playing this game for a while, and it's kind of funny. Like sometimes the strategies, cycle or go around in circles. For example, for a while we saw Zerg players opening up with 3 hexes before pool, which turned out to be the standard, and then all of a sudden Protoss remembered how to forgate, which is one of the oldest strategies in the book. But if you're playing a little bit too greedy, you may very well find yourself with a loss as well. Now the 4th game is gonna be on Blackpink.
That K-pop map.
There you go. I was telling Wayman that. He didn't know that.
I mean, I didn't know that. You told
wait, I told you.
me
Okay,
that.
never mind. No.
Did Wayman know it though?
No, you're blending together right now. You're like one. No, just kidding.
Not sure if I should appreciate that or be insulted right now.
Whoa. Wayman is an awesome guy. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying if is it a good thing or a bad thing? So,
Alrighty, here we go.
In the bottom left corner, while we wait for this awesome splash screen to go through, and us.
For a second. Beautiful.
The bottom left corner of Blackpink. It's currently up 2-1. The red Terran player, hailing from Holland, it is uThermal.
Looking as focused as ever. The hoodie is not up just yet.
No.
Usually
Not
when the hoodie goes up, he is...
not full tryhard yet.
No, he's not full tryhard yet. And his opponent in the top right, playing with the Protoss probes, he goes by the nickname of Harstem.
Oh yeah, he's definitely into the music. This is not death metal.
Yeah.
Can we zoom in on him when it drops?
I'm not gonna go there. I won't be screaming on the live stream. It's
no,
okay.
that's that would be kind of painful, I suppose. But
whoa,
well, screaming is never.
I'm offended, and I didn't even know why.
So now we see more of a standard play from both players. Again, no weird barracks placement. I mean, that's the only thing that uThermal really has done so far. On the live stream that we've seen, those kind of annoying barracks placements for our Protoss opponents. Nothing else. No proxy factories. He tried it once. It got cancelled immediately as Gerald scouted it.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's only tried and succeeded with barracks pushes so far.
I want to see a macro game. I want to see Blackpink go to like a 30-minute long macro fest.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. I think both players are more than capable of doing so. Interestingly enough, right, we definitely consider uThermal to be one of the best macro Terrans in probably all of the world. He's very good at playing the macro game. It just shows what he thinks of the Terran versus Protoss matchup right now. He's been playing macro for pretty much his entire career, primarily focused around bio play in particular. But apparently he, in this tournament, doesn't feel nearly as confident, at the very least against someone of the caliber of Harstem, to play that late game. And it's really been up to Harstem to defend whatever kind of shenanigans his Terran player is going for so far. So if somehow, some way, Harstem manages to survive the early game, I think he's going to be pretty happy.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, and I definitely agree with that. Harstem is a very, very strong macro player as well, right? As you say, a player of his caliber. Yeah, he's top 3 in Europe right now in terms of Protosses. I think that's fairly safe to say. And he's just, at this point, a really force to be reckoned with. So is uThermal, obviously, with the current set of TVP, maybe also his current mindset towards the matchup, really not helping him out here. And so probably that is the reason why he's done 2 Reaper rushes and 1 2-base committal attack so far, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, the series could still be short, and we might still see a couple of long games. Blackpink is definitely the map for it, though.
Exactly. This is a map that can be going to the late game. I've had some really great games with split map scenarios. This is a massive map. It's actually pretty... It takes a long time for all of the maps to be... or all of the bases to be taken, rather.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely a chance for it, but I would like to see this go to like 4 bases or so. Regardless, Harstem is now going for that robotics bay really early on. Do you think that's going to be for Colossus, or do you think that's going to be for the Disruptor?
It's hard to say at this point.
It's really early.
Yeah, it's really early, and I'm not sure if he wants. Colossi timings are not very common, right?
I mean, I've been talking about this earlier. I would love to see drop play with Colossus.
Yeah. But I think Disruptor drop play is a little more common. That said, though, Colossi drop play, I mean, it could work, but it's very easy to shut down as well with just a single Viking.
Yeah,
so we could definitely see something coming out of that.
Please make a Colossus. Please make a Colossus.
There we go. Here we go.
Okay, we'll find out in about 3 seconds.
Oh!
Yes! Now, is he gonna load it into the Warp Prism? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's it. He didn't already make a Warp Prism, right? So
yeah, this is a really early one. I don't think it's actually gonna be for any kind of aggression, because Terran is currently moving across the map, and he's just gonna try and use the Warp Prism to pull these units back home.
That's a super early Warp Prism as well, with no units in it either. So he needs to warp in something. He's just gonna use it for scouting.
It's a scouting Warp Prism.
Just a really expensive, non-invisible observer.
It's fast though, and it pulls some units
I think
apart.
he's pulling back now because he realized that uThermal's units are not at home.
Extended thermal lens right now also coming in, but here we go. The the medevac is coming in also with 2 of these Widow Mines, and they can deal a lot of damage. Ooh, there we go. 3 workers going down. Nothing too crazy,
actually, in the
but
bottom
at the same time.
Yeah, this is bad for him. The shield battery is losing a lot of energy right now, but it's
Colossus
just killing probes. That one Colossus needs to do a lot of damage. It does, though, since the recent patch, right? Like it's
It's got a lot of additional range now. It doesn't seem very significant, so for those of you unfamiliar, it's got 1 additional base range, and the upgrade grants 1 less than it did in the past. It's now a lot more useful when it comes to, for example, chasing down these units. Now, I wonder if it's maybe overextending a little. You do not want to lose a
yeah,
okay,
it's a mistake. I don't think he.
Oh no, apparently it's not. He's got the Warp Prism. There you go.
That's true.
He's actually loaded it into the Warp Prism. Can you do some harassment? I would love to see harassment with a Warp Prism.
Oh,
and a
he's
Colossus.
moving it that way.
Yeah, no, he's actually going to be sending it across. Now the Warp Prism, or rather the medevac once again, is coming into the natural. It's going to be able to pick up a couple of workers. Oh, only
Actually, if he would have retargeted that would have gone a little bit better for him, but it's really hard to retarget it after the patch. So what ended up happening is only 1 probe kill there. I mean, it's better than nothing. Obviously, it's not great, but
I can't believe we're seeing this.
yeah.
Warp Prism is actually now arriving on the other side of the map. He hasn't quite moved it over just yet. There is a Colossus in there. Unlike a Thor, its legs are not, dangling out at the bottom of it.
That's so weird, by the way. Why do Colossi dangle?
Because it's technology.
So the
They're
Terran
the Protoss, dude.
The Terran technology is just not there yet?
Yeah. In StarCraft 3, we're gonna see we're gonna not see Thor's inside of the medevacs anymore.
The medevac is going to get chased down, and it takes 1 or 2 more Stalker hits before it does go down, but I don't think it will chase it. Banshee...
This is so risky, though. This is so risky.
Oh.
What's it doing there? It's scouting. It's the scouting
Colossus.
Colossus.
With mech, there's not that much to chase. And he is playing kind of a mech style right now. Banshees, Hellions, and Siege Tanks. This is so
he taunting? Like, what is the purpose of that Colossus
is just drunk,
He's
man.
warping in units right now as well. A couple of Stalkers and apparently a Sentry here at the front. The typical single Colossus counterattack. And it found a Siege Tank.
uThermal's so confused right now. But also, he's moving Hellions into the natural. There's nothing to defend there except for the shield battery right now. 3 probes are already going down. This is kind of a deja vu. 6 probes.
Some more lasers coming in, but indeed a lot of these probes will end up dying. 11 here in total already, maybe 1 more. Don't think it's gonna happen, but 11 probes is still very menacing. He does, of course, have that 3rd Nexus out right now, so that does mean that, of course, he's gonna be able to start chrono boosting out 3 workers at once very, very shortly. Chrono Boost is an extremely powerful upgrade, and these Colossi, they've got range. There's no Vikings to be seen anywhere.
Yeah, but man, it's 57 to 41 probes right now. Harstem needs to do something.
This deals damage, though.
It does do a lot of damage. I mean, over time, there's nothing that can touch it right now. There's no real anti-air capabilities. There are some Banshee, but there's Stalkers to protect the Colossus. And that is a lot of sieging. I'm not sure if he's not going to shade into that, but he does now know that the bulk of his force is in the natural.
3rd base is also landed here by the Protoss, or by the Terran player rather. Speaking of which, he's now also flying across the map with a handful of Banshees. They do have Cloak. I don't think there's an Observer at home right now, and they can definitely kill a ton of these workers. Of course, the shield batteries try their very best, but it's not quite going to be enough as another Observer comes out and 2 Stalkers are here to greet them. Shield battery is going to be crucial, but look at the amount of probes that end up falling in just a matter of seconds. 14, 15, 16.
This is
crazy.
really, really painful. He's probably going to get up to 20 at least. The shield battery is going to run out of energy as well. So
he doesn't need these Banshees anymore, right? So he's just going to try and deal a little bit of damage. 21
Absolutely.
total.
I mean, so with the double Banshee, it's really, really good. You can one-shot workers, as you guys have been able to see. I mean, throughout the 22 probes that were killed there, that speeds it up a lot. Doesn't give the shield battery time to heal any probes like it does now, and 22 probes is massive. 29 to 59 right now. That is a really, really big deficit.
Why is he scanning so much? That's like another scan coming in. Apparently double confirming that there are units there.
No. They used the scan to be able to hit the stalkers before the Banshee came in. But, I mean, it did a little bit of damage. I don't think it killed that many units. At the same time, uThermal is now up 40 supply, and he's playing mech.
Adept's moving across the map as well on the other side of the map. Or rather, Hellions, of course.
Yeah, oh, Blue Flame Hellions as well. That's going to be extra painful. 6-7 more workers going down. He can't replenish these amounts of workers, local. This is crazy.
He's losing a ton of them. And the
nice
third base is completely massacred as well. A ton of workers. I mean, it's 59 versus 23. Harstem knows it's game over.
Yeah.
He could technically stay in that game and try to play from behind. It's not going to happen, though, against someone of the caliber of uThermal. He's just sipping his drink right there. He's like,
so,
okay.
A quick question. Would you recommend the Colossus drop, or...?
Are you making fun of the Colossus drop? It's going to be the new meta in like 2 years.
Technically, he never used it for harassment, I guess, right?
He should have. That's probably what you're trying to say, right? Imagine, though, there's going to be like, you know, a couple of units there to just gun down the War Prism. That would be very sad.
Yeah, that would be very sad.
I don't know. I think it does have potential. I'm still not entirely sure why the Colossus was at the front. It was literally just standing there, staring down his opponent. I guess he wanted to have it there to like eventually get the reinforcements in and start beaming away at the natural. But yeah, that definitely was not quite the game that that Harstem had in mind. And the Blue Flame Hellions, they just simply were the nail in the coffin right there. I mean, the Banshees, they dealt so much damage, and then, of course, the Blue Flame units came in as well. They just simply killed so many probes. I mean, it was enough.
It feels like Harstem just warped in and moved all of his forces towards the natural of uThermal, which in and of itself is not a bad idea. It also caused him to not have anything at home, though. So he lost so much to his Banshee, got way out of control. Then the Hellions, the Hellions, and then the Banshees, and then the Hellions again.
Right.
So he just kept taking blows, and he could not protect himself from taking any more. So he was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because he couldn't attack into uThermal. At the same time, he couldn't go back and defend.
Yeah, so like I didn't want to commit to that, but the siege tanks already were in position. Of course, with those bunkers in the front as well, it makes it so hard to push up that ramp. Pushing up a ramp in general is kind of scary. So I guess that Harstem never really did. It's kind of funny, though. When I first started playing StarCraft myself and I would watch some of the pro games, I would look at that and be like, why did he leave? He had 3 bases. You know? The opponent was on 2. Like, why did he leave?
Yeah.
That doesn't really make a lot of sense. But at this highest level of play, right, it becomes really important how many workers you have. And it's not the most interesting concept, I suppose, like talking about workers and economy. This isn't school, but...
That sounds like...
It sounds boring, right?
Things.
It's really exciting. It's really exciting. Like, workers is honestly one of the most important things in StarCraft 2.
Absolutely.
It's unlike most other RTS games out there, actually. Like, for example, in Warcraft, you usually get yourself a couple of your peons and whatnot, and eventually you get enough.
You get 4 on a mine, I think, right?
I think you get 5 on a mine and like
5,
a handful of on lumber and all that.
And that's it. But I
StarCraft 2 is a game of economy, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He fell behind pretty far that game, and that was it. And we're gonna get another FPS issue. It seems both players had it there here because he was like, "Re?"
Yeah. Apparently they're gonna be forced to do their rematch right there. Now the next game is gonna be on Neon Violet Square. That will be a match point here for uThermal. Is he gonna play Reapers? I don't think so. I don't think so. He wants to really go out and do
but that could play into it.
Yeah, no. I'm actually quite impressed, though, with the way that he's playing so far, right? Considering how many people are currently not really enjoying the TVP matchup, he seems to be in firm control of a lot of these matches. Obviously, it almost feels like it's more or less up to the Protoss to make a mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than like the Terran player playing, really well and obviously him just simply dealing crucial amounts of damage. I mean, Harstem has to sort of like allow that damage to come in as well, by just simply mispositioning his units or not having enough or playing a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, so far the entire series, actually, it's kind of gotten. I feel like that last game for sure, definitely. Sorry, I'm completely blanking here. What was the last map again? I'm mixing up maps now.
I mean, I'm really bad with
the name of the map.
Blackpink.
Blackpink. Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Harstem just
Put me on the spot right there. I managed.
You
I
blanked
managed
as well.
I nailed it. I nailed it. I had to think
Harstem
about it for a
just
second.
not been able to really push that momentum for him, right? The game that he did win was a game where uThermal kind of, I don't want to say messed up, but he tried something that already had worked. I don't think he was really expecting it to work again.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky.
So this series definitely going in uThermal's favor so far. We're going to have to see how this plays out in the next game, though. Game number 4, at the bottom right, the red Terran player, uThermal.
And his opponent, spawning in a cross position, the defending champion of the DSCL. He needs to win the next 3 games if he wants to become the victor this year as well. He goes by the nickname of Harstem. Oh man, he's looking flustered now though. Definitely going to be a tricky situation to be in right now, right? He does not want to go out 4-1. Obviously, uThermal is one of the best Terran players. Makes it really tricky to play a solid game against him, because so far he's just not allowing Harstem to transition towards that mid game that Harstem loves.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean,
even
in the last game, he kind of allowed it, but then when he gave Harstem some room, he abused the room that he just gave Harstem. Right? Like pretty much.
Right, pretty much. I don't know if I like the the 2-base Colossus. It's a little bit odd. I can imagine it might work if your opponent is skipping out siege tanks and is just primarily focusing on bio. But uThermal is now showing lately, at the very least, in all of the games that I've seen him play of TVP, showing a lot of siege tank based play. And I think he's not really going to switch it up right here in the next game either. No. Harstem is going to have to play this very straightforwardly if he wants to obtain the victory. But at least one thing that's going for him is that he does not have to deal with Reapers.
That's true.
Well, one of them, I guess.
I mean, he can deal with one, I think, right? After dealing with that game number 3, he can do anything. Yeah, no, the one Reaper is very, very standard, of course. We do see Natural now coming down for uThermal. I mean, again, this is Neon Violet Square, right? Another big macro map. Not very likely to see some proxy type stuff happening in the very early stages of the game, just because it's not very efficient. It's not the best build for the map.
I would love to see a good old straightforward macro game here. I know I said that with the previous one, but Harstem apparently has got different thoughts. Although this Reaper is getting awfully close right now to scouting this pylon, and he will indeed see exactly that something cheesy is going on. Now look at that, right? uThermal purposefully not actually pushing it back. Apparently he is going to go back right now to check what it is. He will find the Stargate there. So very quick proxy Stargate here from the Protoss player. It is not quite a one-base all-in like we saw Harstem play it for a little while, where he was just simply skipping out the natural as well, and he was just trying to get the fastest possible Oracle. That's not what this is, but it's still planning to deal a lot of damage here in the earlier part of the game. And I wonder if uThermal is going to be able to respond here accordingly.
Yeah, me too. I mean, okay, so definitely he has all the information he needs right now. It is all about both players' execution right now, especially uThermal. It's very straightforward here for Harstem, but the response for uThermal, he's making a Cyclone, adding on extra Marines. Obviously that helps. A bunker as well. He might predict that there will be some type of push coming out with those Oracles that will be made. So far, I'm obviously not a Terran expert, but I do think he's handling it fairly well. And actually, the panel is dangerously low. Not going to be able to focus it down before the Oracle comes out, but as I say that, the 2 Marines are not focusing it.
Yeah, they will just barely be able to pick up that Adept. Here we go. He's going to target fire down the pylon. Will it able? Oh my, that's a massive deal. That is such a big deal. Harstem's build that he was going for to try and win this game with just got absolutely shut down.
And this is 3-1.
Yeah, uThermal is looking solid in this tournament so far. I mean, he's going to follow this up with an armory, apparently. He can just simply go for a 3rd command center right now and probably be safe.
Probably. Wow. I mean, Harstem's doing the same thing. Why not, right?
That is so greedy. Now, interestingly enough, worker-wise, Harstem is still ahead. He's at 37 right now versus 29.
Yeah, he's been probing all throughout that. Obviously, he didn't lose anything in terms of economy. He just lost his entire build. But he's trying to, I guess, rectify the fact that he's now so behind because he had to cancel the Stargate, cancel the Oracle, cancel everything by getting that super early 3rd. So if he doesn't get punished for that, he's kind of on an even level playing field again, you know? But he has to get away with that.
Great. Very interesting.
Obviously,
it is a little bit cheaper now. It used to be a lot more expensive. As of a couple of days ago, it essentially got halved in price, if I'm not mistaken, making it, I guess, a little bit more doable. What exactly is uThermal's follow-up going to be, though? Will we add on another command center here, or will we start adding on 2 additional barracks? That's what we're looking out for right now. And we may very well see that third TC coming in. And I wonder if that means that we're going to be seeing a macro game as well. But he should be making that decision here very shortly. As you can see, he's already piling up the minerals. But apparently he does decide to add on another 2 barracks. So I think that uThermal is planning to go for a timing push off of the bases that he has. And he may just simply try to close it out like he did in the other games as well, with siege tanks slowly pushing forward and then following it up with liberators supported by Bio.
Yeah, definitely. But a kind of a big difference here is that early third is really going to help Harstem here. Because now he did get away with it. It's really going to help
Double Forge?
give him, yeah.
Wow.
But, I mean, that another thing, if uThermal waits long enough, that could really work out against him. This third base, though, it started to mine, and because it was so early, this is going to pay off for Harstem. It's going to have him give him more money and more production to prepare for anything that's coming. Blink is halfway done, and as you said, yeah, uThermal is going for that bio-style play, not going to be making many tanks. Well, he will be, but making a couple. Well, actually, he's not even making any tanks.
No, he's actually going to switch over to Widow Mines now.
Yeah, because he did get the Drilling Claws upgrade, so I guess he's just going to go with Marine Widow Mine, which is interesting. But there are no Phoenixes on the map, right?
Just now started up. I'm not entirely sure what uThermal's build is going to be. I mean, Stimpack and Combat Shield take quite a long time to build, right?
It'll be late.
Yeah, it's already, like, I mean, we already see a massive lead here as far as workers go for Harstem, and every minute that goes by right now, there's a drop in the main base, by the way. He's going to try and drop off at least one of those.
Oh, the Drilling Claws really helps, though. 12 probes.
12 probes. You do not expect him to burrow nearly as quickly. Right now, that does give away to Harstem roughly what it is he's going up against. So while Harstem, for now, you know, evened up the worker count, yeah, he's still got more than enough. He's just going to be able to chrono boost out those workers so rapidly once again. But what I was trying to say, the longer that this goes on, right, the more ahead Harstem will become. Third command center right now going in here for uThermal, so he's got to be able to play macro here as well. I wonder though, what exactly is his follow-up going to be? He could just go for a push. Obviously, he could decide to just simply stay at home as well and try to play the macro game there. It's just the probes mine a lot of resources.
They do, yeah, they definitely do indeed. I mean, like, again, Drilling Claw's gonna actually
burrow.
Man,
that's so sick!
Oh my god!
Oh, 5 probes once again
that
going
looked
down.
like more. That looked like more, but it was only 5 in the end. Still, I mean, he'll take it, right? Drilling Claws is
It's
good.
so much cheaper now. I guess it's definitely, like, if you're gonna go for the single siege tank or the double siege tank for defense, then get the Drilling Claws upgrade. It's an interesting concept. Because it is so cheap right now, you can do a lot of damage with it.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and I mean,
Protoss just don't expect it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the surprise factor that's really getting him here, and he is pushing up now with that Stimpack, and Concussive Shell's going to be finishing soon. So is Marine Shield, which does give him extra health, obviously. Plus one, I think, is also finished now for the Terran player. And he's also got a third base behind it, so it's not as very committed as he was before. That Widow Mine planting itself in the ramp.
Here is a
nice blink away.
That was so beautiful. I was going to say, I didn't realize that he had blink already right there, but that could have been a catastrophic moment because he's going to need every single unit right here because the push from the Terran player is coming in, immediately forcing the cancel on that Nexus.
The army supply is so much in favor of uThermal. He really needs all he can.
Harstem
does. Amazing force fields though, really helping. The beautiful pickup by uThermal though, really saving a bunch of those bio units. Widowman's not really doing too much. Stranger's at the front, I'm not sure if I like that, but this is actually looking better for Harstem than I thought it would.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of double-pronged harassment right there coming in as well for the Terran player, picking up a lot of workers. I think that was in the main base. 9 probes going down there in just a matter of seconds. But regardless though, Harstem definitely managed to hold on there, killed a lot of the Terran player's army, but most importantly, he didn't lose the game. Yeah, right, it's very easy to slip up right there, and all of a sudden you got a ton of stimp units. He's going for the double upgrades, and he's going to be able to counterattack here into that third command center of the Terran player. And supply-wise, this is going to go very heavily in favor of the Protoss player here in just a little bit. Now these Widow Mines, though, they're actually painful.
Actually not blinking away that time, and killing 2 Stalkers right away. Almost a third one because of the concussive shells, but not quite. Yeah, no, the Terran player is definitely trailing a little bit in army supply, just like the Protoss did in the previous fight. So the tides have kind of turned in this case, and he is getting that 4th base up now. Definitely putting the pressure on uThermal, so to speak, right? Because that 4th base is pretty close to finishing. Now, we do see +2 also being researched for our Terran player, but something with the new patch, obviously, is that Protoss players can just churn out upgrades so much faster and catch up because of that chrono boost.
There's a big push just about to happen at the 3rd base. There's a warp in the main base right now as well of the Terran player. He's actually dealing a bunch of damage right now. SCVs are falling in the main. That's alright though, because apparently at the same time we do see a lot of units here coming in. Now the Zealots indeed are now also joined by an Archon. And while this is going on, right, the damage at the third is becoming quite significant.
Yeah, he didn't kill that many SCVs, which that's really important for uThermal, but he did lose a lot of mining time, and not all of his forces are him. Not sure if he's able to fight this.
He's gonna get the command center. He's gonna get the command center. It's already burning down right now. uThermal is throwing up a scan to confirm how many units there are. It wasn't even that many, but he does end up losing the base.
Ghosts now coming out for him, though. I know it's kind of a meme that ghosts are supposed to be amazing now, but he is making them fairly early on in this game, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do with them, as he did see Archons already out on the map, right?
Yeah, so obviously they're a great counter to High Templar, they're a great counter to pretty much every spell-based unit. Considering there are this many sentries, and obviously it still reduces shields as well, it's probably a good idea to mix in at least a couple of the ghosts, even if you don't know exactly what it is you're going up against. Now so far though, 34 SCVs here mining at the newly acquired third, I guess. For the Terran player, not quite the situation that you want to be in, but I mean, Harstem is just happily expanding towards a 5th base already, and that one is at a gold.
Yeah, and if that goes up, well, that's going to be really tough for uThermal to deal with.
This push is crucial.
At the same time, though, yeah, you're right. At the I guess the left side of the map now, uThermal's doing the exact same his opponent did earlier. The pylon there, very nice to scout, and these Widow Mines are leading the charge right now for this big push. He needs to kill this base, I think.
Yeah, he needs to deal a critical amount of damage here. uThermal is trying to see if he can do exactly that. Rallying more and more units across the map.
Big
as well.
EMPs!
Yeah, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Oh man, but these charge outs are now charging in as they do so well at the front of the lines. And yes, this is a nice third step here from the Terran player, but the Blink Stalkers with the Immortals in the back as well. I'm not really sure. I mean, if we look at the army supply and both the worker supply as well, right? Harstem is kind of ahead in both aspects.
Yeah, beautiful play so far by Harstem, though, greedily expanding all over the map. This reminds me so much of StarCraft 1, where Protoss, generally speaking, just tries to overwhelm their opponent with just sheer numbers. He's just getting so many bases, trying to deny that economy from his opponent, and he's doing a great job at exactly that, because once again, we see that warp in right now in the main base, and uThermal is forced to GG out of the game as Harstem picks up a very important match.
You know what? We're getting closer to that Battle on the Boardwalk final game.
Imagine this tournament concludes on Battle on the Boardwalk.
Yeah,
I would be totally okay with that. It's the final map.
It's one game away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. We're already 3-2, right? Yeah.
Come on, Harstem.
We need Harstem to win the next one, just because we want to see Battle on the Boardwalk. No, not necessarily. It's a fun map. We'll see if it's going to be part of this series as well. Regardless, though, important win right there for Harstem. Interestingly enough, he wasn't allowed to play his mid game throughout the series until this game, where he filled his early game cheese.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd, right? Because he wanted to close out this game early, and instead we were forced to play macro there, and apparently he ended up winning the game.
I'll play macro. I'll play ball. Let's go. I'll play another base.
It's what you said though. Like he wasn't necessarily very heavily committed there. He really lost the pylon and the Stargate, right? He didn't really lose.
It was mostly tech.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a little bit frustrating. He couldn't really pressure his opponent, but it wasn't like he just made a ton of units there either, and that he was already heavily committed to that aggression, and it just didn't do anything. I quite like it.
Game number 6. We're already going to see it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
According to uThermal, which I guess I'll believe. Fine.
Interesting. I thought I heard that it was going to be the final map. That's all right, though. This is actually an interesting map. So Battle on the Boardwalk got added with a new map pool very recently. Yeah. It's one of those maps that doesn't necessarily feel very much like a StarCraft map. It's a little bit odd in the sense that it's got
like a Heroes of the Storm map, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels a little, well... I was more or less comparing it to for example Age of Empires, another kind of game. But regardless, there is a lot of potential on this map. Protoss players and Terran players alike have been enjoying it quite a bit with the fast gold base. Yeah. I wonder if that's something we will be seeing here as well, because there are most definitely several ways that you can close out a game early on a map like this. I've actually been seeing some really cool plays as well with
with DNS and Denver.
Oh man, it's been so wild. Like for example, Protoss or Terran players rather taking the gold expansion really early, and then a Protoss just creating a single pylon and preventing them from even getting over there. You can do some crazy denies. It's a little bit hard to picture right now, but we'll jump into it shortly. I hope that actually the players will live up to the way that we are hyping up this map. It's one of those do you like playing it?
So maybe once in a while. It's a tough map to play because it's really you kind of get sort of a free gold base, right? But it's at the same time, it's not really an advantage because it's so far away, and the opponent can access it really easily by drops or whatever. So it really depends on the matchup. I don't think I like it that much in ZVT from the Zerg perspective. It's fun to watch, though, for sure.
Yeah.
It's fun to see how it plays out because every player has kind of a different perspective on it. But yeah, I'm not. It's not a great Zerg map for sure. I don't think so anyway.
Yeah.
But
There's no Zerg here.
no, that's true. For Protoss or Terran, I'm not sure if I were to give anyone a big favorite on this map. To be fair, like
I guess we'll find out. In this
I
little
guess
bit.
we
it's
will.
Gonna be, it's gonna be a tough one. I wonder what players are deciding to go for though. I'm definitely in the same camp as you. I really enjoy casting games on this map. I really enjoy watching games on this map. I don't really enjoy playing games on this map.
It's just
much.
frustrating.
Yeah, it can be extremely frustrating. But here we go. Spawning in the top right corner of Battle on the Boardwalk. Match point number 2. We have none other than Team Liquid's uThermal. The hoodie is still not on.
And on the opposite side of the map, the blue Protoss player playing for Asterion Esports. Give it up for Harstem. Wow, this is kind of a favorite
at
at this
door
point.
at the perfect time.
I know.
I think some of that sound leaked back into the mic.
Perhaps.
We actually do have a bit of an audience right now as well, which is awesome.
Great,
I'm actually really enjoying this location. We've never really quite had an esports location like this in the Netherlands at the very least.
And so accessible for an esports tournament to be held here.
Yeah,
as
for
well.
everyone though. Like
Yeah.
you can literally just walk in.
Yep.
I mean, right now it's 9 p.m. over here. It's still open. People can still just come and hang out.
You can
drink
play
a beer, watch some video games.
Play some Formula 1. I actually did that just an hour ago. You can play some Overwatch with your buddies. Watch some StarCraft right now. And I actually think there are some Hearthstone tournaments also being held here from time to time. Fireside gatherings. Anyway, Pro being a little bit annoying here in the base. Nothing out of the ordinary. That is just the way of life.
Probes are annoying in the earlier part of PvT.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how the probe works. Obviously, the fact that it regenerates shields can be a little bit tricky to deal with from time to time. But obviously, none of these players are really going to take any kind of significant losses. Pretty straightforward play here so far, though, from both of these players. Harstem is going to be going for that very quick Nexus, and we see uThermal now transitioning towards, of course, the factory. I wonder if that means that he's going to follow it up with a very quick starport as well. No expansion to be seen just yet.
No, that's true. And that does kind of make me wonder, honestly.
I think he's heading towards the bottom right-hand corner.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What's going on in the bottom right-hand corner?
This is it, right? This is what we're talking about. This is what makes the map so exciting. This goal base that is kind of shielded off from your opponent. At the same time, also shielded off from yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of it, right? You can actually trap yourself there very easily.
So, yeah, and it
Oh,
seems like the
man.
Protoss players
Oh,
are
man.
doing the same thing.
I love it.
Or it's a proxy. No,
I mean, it's a great proxy location as well, right?
It's a Nexus.
So this
That's
one
it.
is... No, actually, he's scouting. I think he may just very well be scouting. There's not quite a Nexus.
Oh, yeah, he's
going
already
down
got a
just
Nexus on the
yet.
natural
Yeah,
as well.
Exactly.
For sure, yeah. Be a really, really early third. I don't think... Yeah,
No, I don't think he's
it
gonna
would
do
be a really
exactly that.
cheeky proxy position as well, I guess.
No, he's just simply trying to
Yeah.
see if there's anything cheesy planned right here by his opponent. Of course, Harstem is still on the ropes. He needs to win the next 2 games if he wants to obtain the victory in this tournament. He is currently the defending champion from the DSCL Open 2016, so it's crucial for him to win this game right here, right now. But so far, uThermal seems to be a very, very tough opponent.
Yeah, so far, definitely the case. And Battle on the Boardwalk might make things a little bit more awkward than they already were between these two players. Right now, do you think it's standard for the Terran player to get their goal base? I don't think so, right?
No, it's like, here's the thing, right? It's very hard for the Protoss right now to decide what exactly is happening. Because you don't see the expansion on the low ground, but you can't really check the bottom right-hand corner now either, because you don't have that Mothership Core. So at this point, Harstem may need to defend. Like, that's the reason why we probably don't see his own gold going down just yet. Like, look, he's forced to play rather defensive here, making the assumption his opponent has the base. And that's the very difficult part of a map like this.
Yeah, so you gotta kind of play gritty and safe at the same time. You can't do that. That doesn't
No,
work.
it doesn't work like that, right?
That
Like, that's
doesn't-
very hard.
Yeah.
Now here we do see the very first big drop coming in. 6 Marines and a Widow Mine.
Blink not done anywhere near now. And I mean, there is a Widow Mine and a couple of Marines unloading into the natural right now. Widow Mine actually unloading into the natural. Marines are not necessarily, actually just gonna pick it up and fly to the main instead.
A little bit of lost mining time. I guess that's fair enough. We do see that Blink Stalker upgrade finishing up in just about 15 or so seconds from now. A single pylon now actually preventing the units from moving across the map. Lovely move there by the Protoss, but the Widow Mine is burrowing, and it will be able to pick up at the very least 4
beautiful
kills.
target firing. Initially it was going to attack the Stalker, but it ended up killing 4 probes, which is very, very good. Actually, these Marines attacked the Stalker for so long, draining the shield battery completely, and now all of these probes are under fire. No shield battery to protect them. 8 probes have gone down due to a single drop.
Blink just about to finish up. If you could get the medevac, it would be absolutely massive at this point in the game. Probes actually going down right now. I think that Harstem may very well be feeling the pressure.
Oh man, 15 probes have gone down.
6 Marines and a Widowmine.
Are the Hellions through yet, by the way?
No, I don't think so. They're still fighting against that single final Liberator right now as well in the natural here of the Protoss player. uThermal is buying so much time for his gold as well, right? Because while this is going on in the bottom right-hand corner, look at these juicy golden mineral patches. They are getting mined from already, and we see the siege tank transition. 4 additional barracks coming in. uThermal wants to close out this game.
Yeah, this income tab is just dirty at this point. I mean, look at that. So the workers are 40 to 34, so that doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but Terran's not supposed to be ahead in workers in this matchup.
Not right now, no.
Especially not right now. Yeah, the mid-game is supposed to be the Protoss territory in terms of that. And army supply is fairly even, so there's no way uThermal is going to be able to close down this game anytime soon, but the Hellion actually gets a nice scout on the main for whatever he can see. Not that much, unfortunately, but as we do see uThermal now skyrocketing ahead in both gas and mineral income, definitely wants that. That supply depot is mostly for scouting.
But no stretch of the imagination, though, is Harstem out of this game just yet. I mean, worker-wise, he's actually evened up right now. He's going to go for that third Nexus. Supply-wise, he's still looking solid as well. The only thing is that the ball is currently in the Terran player's court. And uThermal has shown us that he is more than capable of dealing a lot of damage when he gets the chance. And right now, I mean, uThermal is very well known for his harassment-based style and his bio-focused strategies. He is going to be able to do whatever it is he wants, and Harstem is the one that needs to defend.
Yeah, and Liberator is now going to check for that non-gold third base, because it's actually here on the low ground. And that definitely, I mean, I think that's very comforting for uThermal. That means he doesn't have to put on that much pressure. Actually, Harstem kind of blocking himself off from that.
Yeah. He wants to make sure that there's no run-bys and whatnot in the bottom left-hand corner of this map. That's fair enough. Siege tanks are now coming out, and that's the one thing with this base as well. It's a little bit vulnerable to slow-pushing siege tanks that we have seen the Terran player going for already in this tournament. Probe-wise, though, it's looking solid once again. 49 workers versus 42, so uThermal did indeed, he did indeed start falling behind there in the worker count. No third command center just yet, though, and I think that uThermal is currently leaving his main base to start pushing across the map. And this does get scouted by an observer, so both players know exactly what is going on in this game.
Absolutely.
Oh man, look at the upgrades as well, finishing up on
all
the right
finishing
side of the screen.
up. That is, could there be any more? so uThermal is now up a good amount of supply though, and most of that is army. Look at that, 67 to 39. That's a big chunk. This is all of Harstem's army on the screen right now. There's an Immortal coming out soon, but this siege tank push, I mean, we've seen it so many times this tournament from him. It's so deadly.
There are a couple of force fields here available. He could try and slice off part of this army, but it is going to be, oh, there you go. You can also just prevent it from moving onwards. This buys time for Immortals, though, and he needs a couple Immortals if he wants to properly engage this. Second Immortal immediately being chrono boosted out. Currently, workers are in favor here of the Protoss player, but bunkers are coming down as well, and uThermal wants to win this tournament right here, right now.
Yeah, that's SimCity really helping him out there, stimming to win. Right now, a couple siege tanks in the back not firing, but I don't think he really cares. Going to move them in front when he needs to. Right now, he's doing a lot of damage, killing the pylons, killing shield batteries, killing a lot of probes actually. Already 2 have gone down, and this forces Harstem out of his base. He needs to attack, committing to the siege tank, only killing one, and this is a massive engagement for uThermal. He's winning this hands down right now.
Marines are pretty good units. Harstem is forced to GG out of the game, and that means that uThermal is the DSCL Open 2017 champion in a very convincing fashion. Beautifully played.
That was a...
the cheeky little wink. Where's the trophy? Give me the trophy.
Give me the money.
Here we go.
Yeah, are we going to there, or are we
I'm
staying
assuming
here?
we're going to be moving over to them. The prijsuitreiking, which is the Dutch word for ceremony.
Right. Okay. So I mean, in the end, there, it's kind of fun though, because I think uThermal won the 2015.
Yeah, he won in 2015.
And then Harstem won in
2016.
And now they're kind of trading wins.
Exactly.
So
Obviously,
next year it's going to be the year of Harstem again.
the year of Harstem, really? I've heard that one before. I thought every year was the year of Harstem.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but this one a little bit less than for last year. I think we should switch to the stage where the prize ceremony will be taking place any moment now.
All right, thank you very much, casters, and congratulations to uThermal. He is now up 3 Dutch StarCraft leagues to 2. So congratulations, you won the best of 5. It was one long in the making. All right. Of course, we have a second place finisher as well. So Mark, if you could hold this real quick for a second, I need my other hand to give this to Harstem. So, all right. Kevin, congratulations, second place. Give a hand for Harstem. Woo! All right, if you give me that back, please. I'm ready to give it to you now. All right. uThermal, Mark, congratulations with your 3rd trophy for the Dutch StarCraft League. Woo! What's left for me to say is to say thank you to everybody who made this possible. I had a great time today again, and I want to do this again next year, so tune in again in 2018. I want to go start say thanks to everybody in the... wow, this is the synchronous... Cheers, everybody. We're going to have an after party. All right. Thank you, everybody in the audience. Thank you to Blizzard Entertainment for making this possible. They sponsored the prize pool. Thank you to all the crew, the people, the guy holding the camera right now, the guys holding all the other cameras right now. And thanks to the casters, to all the players, and of course also thanks to the guys in production who've been sitting there for 12 hours straight, right? No bathroom breaks. They've been sitting there. All right. We're going to go into the after party. See you in 2018. Thank you very much for watching.